What's up, guys? In this video I have got a big project to show you. This is probably going to take me a long time, but what I'm going to be doing is taking my stock ST grill here and turning it into an RS style grill. Now my bumper is like all messed up and needs to be repainted. Needs some body work done and stuff, so I figured I'd just take the bumper off for several months and do some work on the car. And I've started some carbon fiber fog light bezels, which you'll see in another video. But while I'm working on those, I'm also going to work on this grill, because you can see my tow strap broke it here when I had to get towed. And when I did my grill shave, I did not do a very good job. And the grill's just it's not in the best condition. So I'm going to be cutting out these sections of it right here and turning it into an RS style grill. And I'm going to be using this foam board here to kind of like glue it down to the grill itself. And then I've got some fiberglass there and some resin, and I'm going to make it out of fiberglass, and then eventually I'll most likely do a carbon fiber overlay on the whole thing. But for now, I'm going to go ahead. This is going to get cut straight across here, and then I'll cut it across all the way there, and then I'll get all that sanded down, and then I'll sand off I'm going to cut just this bottom piece out here and leave this section here. And I think what I'm going to do is kind of grind these grill pieces down so it kind of slants towards the intercooler, and then whenever I glue the foam board on, it'll kind of like be tilted like down towards the intercooler, just to kind of give the custom grill a little bit more definition. So I'm going to go ahead and take that reciprocating saw there and go ahead and just cut out these pieces that I need to cut out. And honestly, I might just use my angle grinder. That might be easier. I don't really know, but I think I'm going to strap it down to that chair there, and then I kind of already marked it with this tape where I want to cut. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut that area out, and then we'll see how it looks. So I've got the grill cut out how I want it. I just cut out these sections here to kind of take some weight out of it. And then I cut off the parts that like went to the side here, because I want it to have a straight line right here. And I think I'm going to have like a second layer here, and then it'll come down right here. And then I kind of just left this part on the outside so I can glue the foam board to it. So I also kind of smoothed out these edges and the edges here, because there's going to be foam board glued to that. So I'm going to go ahead and start cutting the foam board out into the pieces I want. And then I think I'm going to probably just hot glue it on. And then once it's on and I do all that, I'll attach it with fiberglass and cover the whole thing in fiberglass, so it'll be super solid and hopefully hold together pretty well. So I'm going to go ahead and trace out some of this foam board and then glue it on. So I ended up using cardboard and not the foam board, just because it was working better. And I got it all glued down, and I put some tape over it so that the resin won't soak into the cardboard. And now I'm going to take some of this fiberglass and resin and just lay down the first layer and try to get all the little nooks and crannies and everything, and get it just the first layer down and let that dry, and then we'll see where that puts us, and if I'll be able to just smoothen that out, do the carbon fiber over that, or just kind of see where that is and how it works out. So I finished the fiberglass and went ahead and put the peel ply over it, and then vacuum bagged it, and I'm going to leave it overnight and let it dry, and we'll look at it tomorrow. So I went ahead and pulled the peel ply off after taking it out of the vacuum bag and took a look at it. it mostly looks pretty good. I think this is the only layer I'm going to put on of fiberglass because I don't want to just add that much weight. But you can see some areas that did kind of fail, like this did not go down how it was supposed to and whatnot. But I'm going to just go ahead and trim this up. I'm going to get my Dremel and, you know, cut off all of these edges that don't look good and get all the strings off. And then I'll, you know, sand everything a lot as smooth as I can get it. You can see the back is still taped down, so I need to layer some resin down on the back so that the resin can be, or so that the back can also be like attached how it's supposed to. And so I'm just gonna give a disclaimer: do not do what I'm doing, because this is definitely not the best or right method of doing this. But I'm just using what I have. So I have some Bondo and some JB Weld, and I think what I'm going to do is, after I cut all of these edges smooth, I'm going to put JB Weld down in there, and that'll help hold it on better, and then also kind of seal these cracks and stuff in there. And then once that's on there and has dried a little bit, I'm going to use the Bondo to, you know, fill in. There's a bunch of holes left in here. So I might just use the Bondo to kind of fill in and make the tops look a little bit better, and the little seam right here. And then I just kind of clean it up with the Bondo, and then once that dries, sand it all down. And then I'll also do the resin on the back and maybe some JB Weld on the back too. And then I have this undercoating, which I might use this undercoating, or I might go get some Flex Seal, just something that'll help seal this all in better from moisture. And then I'll paint it black, sand it, all that, and put the carbon on. So I'm just going to go ahead and get to work on this, and then I'll kind of update you as I go, because I don't really know what I'm doing. But I'm just going to do what needs to be done to get it cleaned up. So I applied some Bondo in the areas that needed it, and I also had to do some fiberglass up there just to kind of even it out and reinforce an area that got messed up. And then tomorrow, once this is all dry, I'm just going to go ahead and sand all of this down really well. And over there, it's not really turning out how I want it to, but hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to kind of sand that down where it needs to be, and then fill it in with Bondo to get it looking even. But I mean, the whole shape is looking pretty good. It's just pretty janky, and the whole thing is not, I don't know, it's not going perfect, but it'll be a process. I added another layer of resin across all of the fiberglass, and then I also put some resin on the back. So hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to apply the coating on the back of it, and then kind of seal some of the stuff off, and then get some more work done on the front. So now that that resin and Bondo has dried, I'm spraying on the layer on the back of this undercoating, and I'm going to put a couple coats of that on just to kind of help seal everything off and keep it all black behind there. And then I'll probably seal it off using something else. And then once that is all done, I'm going to flip it back over and start working on the front again. Just sanding it down, adding more Bondo, trying to get it smooth so that it is a good surface to apply the carbon fiber to. So I got it all sanded down, and, you know, kind of shaped these areas in here, kind of cleared out the edges around there. And I think I'm going to be done with the epoxy, because that didn't really do a whole lot. It did kind of fill in the top and bottom, which is what I needed mainly, and then just kind of filling in some of these holes where the fiberglass didn't get completely saturated. But I think my key to success here, which is probably not the best method, but it's just what I've got, and that is going to be the Bondo, because these areas are really rough up here. And I just layered on a bunch of Bondo and pressed it down in there. And then I'll be able to sand that down tomorrow. and hopefully get it to a good looking finish. And I'm about out of Bondo, so I think I need to go buy some more. And then I think I should just coat this whole thing in Bondo and then sand it down as smooth as I can get. And then I think that's where we're going to get it to where it needs to be to apply the carbon fiber. So I got that last layer sanded down and cleaned, and then I went and picked up some new Bondo at O'Reilly's, and I'm just going to cover this whole thing in Bondo, get it nice and smoothed out, and then I think we will finally have it in a good spot to apply the carbon fiber. So the first coat of Bondo has completely dried, and I've been sanding it. The Bondo is helping a ton with making it look good. It's still not completely flat, so I'm going to start laying down some more Bondo and then block sanding it so I can get it nice and flat. And then you can see here there's some holes, and this part kind of got torn up while sanding it. So I need to fix up the bottom here and also on the top, get that looking a little bit better. And once I get that all done, I'm also trying to make these indentions right here stick out a little bit more. So I'm going to put some tape there probably and build up some Bondo there and sand it all down. And then it should be looking pretty good to where I can spray some paint on it and then see. That'll probably reveal some imperfections and we can see what needs to be done from there. So this Bondo that I added to kind of add this body line right here has dried, as well as the rest of it. And I also added some on the top and bottom. So I think this should be the second to last Bondo coat. After this one, I think I'm just going to patch up some areas, kind of fix up the bottom a little bit more, and then maybe a little bit work on the top. And then after that is done, I'm going to go ahead and lay a layer of paint on it and see how it looks and see if it's ready to start applying the carbon. So after sanding the grill, I went ahead and laid down some of the black paint, and as you can see, obviously the surface is not perfect, but I wasn't trying to get it perfect. But I just was wanting, you know, kind of check the shape and just see everything, what it looks like black. And I really like it. I think it came out pretty good for just kind of like freehanding it, I guess. Just throwing some cardboard on there and doing some fiberglass and whatnot. So I think the next step will be the carbon fiber, because I don't really think smoothing this out is going to have much of an effect on it, because the carbon is going to have to be sanded so many times anyways. So it's pretty much just going to be like resin layer, resin layer, resin layer, resin layer until it gets up thick enough to where I can sand it. And then we'll start sanding it smooth and all that. But I've got to go back to college, so I will not have time to work on this for a while. So depending on how long this section of the video is, this will be the end of part 1. And then you'll catch the carbon fiber part in part 2. But I'll catch you in the next video. Please leave a like and subscribe. And thanks for watching.